Some of my most favorite videos to do are our historical videos. And they're just so fun because you get to see why boots evolved the way they did and some of these old school ways of doing things. It shows you a lot of how the boots we wear today came to be where they are at. You know, even down to the specific brand, even down to Russell Moccasins, who's like a 125-year-old company whose boots have been worn by some of the coolest adventurers in the world. I think it was the Appalachian Trail. The first person to walk that was in a pair of Mocks, Russell Mocks, and I think was it like Amelia Earhart or something was part of it too? Let's find out. They better have that on the site, because if not, it's a lost opportunity to tell a cool story. Yeah, when Charles Lindbergh emerged from the Spirit of St. Louis after his historic transatlantic flight, the first thing that touched the tarmac in Paris was a pair of Russells. Pretty wild. Earl Schaefer, he's the one that hiked the Appalachian Trail. He's a World War II vet. In '48, he became the first person to walk the entire Appalachian Trail. And so it's just cool that some of these brands have been around for 124 years, are still making boots. And the guys that are continuing these generational businesses are keeping true to some of the things that were established 100 years ago. And the cool thing is, you know, it's every time this happens with the boot company, because it happens so often, people are like, oh no, they sold, their quality went downhill, they're terrible now, like these new owners, terrible. Because it happens so often that is the case a lot of times, especially with the really big brands. But we're in luck, because I bought a pair of Russell Moccasins a couple of years ago and to do a review, but then I heard about all the rumblings of some of the guys retiring, so I just didn't want to like add any fuel to the fire and send a bunch of orders over to the Russell Moccasins before they're ready for it. So I have a pair that will be a nice compare and contrast to really see if Russell changed anything, because it doesn't look like it did, but it'd be a cool way to prove that not every brand goes the way of the high margin, selling out, cheap foreign production route. Some people still try to innovate and change based off their historical boots, like Russell Moccasins. So what is this boot or box? This is a really cool unboxing, because speaking of their histories, this is a really cool and a really old pair of Russell Moccasins, and we're going to cut it in half on the main channel. I just want to do a quick unboxing because it just kind of feels like a waste to make a single video, cut them in half, when I can maybe make a Rose Anvil 2, unboxing them and showing you all the little details, kind of show you some of the parts they're wearing out, maybe kind of inspect them, because we don't get to do that in the main channel video. So I think that's it. I think it's everything we need to cover. Obviously Russell Moccasins sent these to us. Actually, I'm wearing a pair of Russell Moccasins today. I'm wearing their backcountry, which are essentially the modern version of what I think this boot is. It's their more hiking style boot, and we did an unboxing of those if you want to watch that. I've got another pair of their Safaris that are super comfortable. Unboxing of that, and then we're going to probably cut apart one of these backcountry boots at some point. But it'd be cool to have the history and the lineage to see how much they've changed, what they've changed, and maybe what parts fail, and all that stuff, all the fun stuff that's cool about what we do. So let's do the unboxing. So what knife today? This little Kershaw knife is so cool. It almost cut my finger off for sure the first time I opened it, because it comes out so strong. Like if I just hold it without a lot of tension, just enough to flip the little trigger there, it comes out so fast. But I like it. It's cool. Little like amber scale. I like Kershaw knives. And Blade HQ gave us these, so if you want one of these, check them out below. Kershaw knives are one of the only big knife brands I actually know, because I've had a few of their knives. I found one climbing, and so I like them. So let's unbox these. I don't even know if there's any tape on this. Oh, there is. Okay, let's see what these old boots look like. Ooh, should we open the letter first? Hey Weston, this is a pair of the earliest examples of the bird shooter model that I have found. I estimate it was probably made in the early 1930s. So over 100, well, what decade are we in? Almost 100 years ago. This particular pair was made for von Legerk and Anton, von Legert and Anton, VL and A, which was a sporting goods store owned by Abercrombie & Fitch. What? Okay, more information. The boot with the Russell label can be cut in half. However, please do not cut the boot with the VL and A label, as it is the only one with that label that we have. Well, they mentioned that. Keep this pair as long as you need, but when you are finished, we will need it back for our archives. Come on, let me keep it in the shop. Just kidding, I get it. That's pretty cool. And then obviously Luke wrote this handwritten letter. Hey. Whoa. Those are not as beat up as I thought. Dang. Wow, look at that outsole. That thing is so cool. It's like a cork nitrile, but like that's like either dyed or like, I don't know. Is it, maybe it's just like a layer on the inside. Is that like corded cork or like corded, I meant cork. I meant cord. Corded outsole. This is like what they used to do like World War II and later boots to give like to reduce the amount of rubber, but also give it some different grip rather than just rubber, because you get these cords that kind of absorb some water and have some different properties of gripping. A really ingenious way of making an outsole more grippy for the time before they had this crazy technology we have now. Okay, let's see what the other one looks like. Okay, which one do we not cut? Okay, that one's the one we don't cut. I have to make sure we don't cut that. Don't cut. Don't cut. Pretty clear, isn't it? Okay, now that anxiety's mostly solved. Okay, let's look at these now. Anything else in the box? So, what do we see? What is this? What's it about? The thing I like about these Russell moccasins is they're very anatomical. Because I cut out an insole of our boot breaker insoles to fit inside of my pair, actually the pair I'm currently wearing. And it's very anatomical. It's still narrower than like an actual wide toe box last, but it's very straight up the big toe, which I absolutely love. These might even be wider. Because that looks so comfy. Leather. Obviously you can see we got a good amount of cracking there through here, which is just how it goes with old leather. Especially with old leather, it's just different tanning times. You know, they didn't have the same machines, the same techniques, and people say old leather's better, but the modern leather is crazy good. Maybe I should compare it to one of the boots I have on. Let's do that. One thing I do like about the boots I have on is they've got speed hooks, because I hate unlacing boots just to take them off and put them on every day. Of course, we got the Rose Anvil kilties in there, filling up that ankle area a little bit more for your boy. Got a case of the lads. Got to plug our own products for my own dainty ankle's sake. You can see like it's still pretty straight. I feel like the old last was even straighter though. Maybe it's the same last. Maybe these are just broken in more, squished over more. But you can see the mock toe stitch is the same. You can see even the way they do the little stitch on the side here is the same. Same pattern where the up or the bottom is wrapped up and there's a junction there. Even down to the heel stay, it's very similar. So you got that little detail there. I like that little detail. Very similar outsoles actually, like a lower lug, lower heel. And we just posted a video of the ultras and the really, really wide boots for hiking. This is like a really nice middle ground, because I've been hiking in these a lot, and you get a lot of the width, you get a lot of the value of those wide toe box boots that are great for hiking just generally. Like your soft hiking, like your regular casual hiking, great boots. Just not for the really, really intense stuff that you're really up in the backcountry where you don't actually have trails. That's where this is actually a pretty sweet little spot where you get wiggle room, but you have the sidewall that hugs your foot really well. Even down to the French top, I love that. What else? What else is the same? What else is different? It still has the leather midsole. Looks like this was a two-piece outsole compared to the unit Vibram. This is a little shorter version of the V100s, little shorter lugs. Obviously I got speed hooks, and this is all eyelets. They're giant eyelets too. You know, sometimes that's nice because you can run your laces through twice in like a military way if you want to really secure like your instep and still have some different tension throughout the boot. Not much has really changed in the last 100 years, clearly. But we don't know until we get it cut in half. Let's get my hand in there and see what, oh, they send with shoe trees. That's the one thing that I never do. I never put shoe trees in my boots. Not because I'm against it, I just never have. It just seems like a lot of work. And I like beat up boots. Okay, so let's see. I filled 2 layers of stitching for the like the stitching that holds the midsole on. I think these only have one, oh, I got my boot breaker in there. A really thin one. This has one layer, so that's a difference. Or does it? I don't really know. It's hard to tell. We'll see when we get it cut in half. Because that's really what this comes down to. I don't know, it's honestly, it's tough to tell. I think this one's double stitched. It still has a half sock liner. It still is like a true moccasin. I can feel how it creeps up the sidewall because these are lasted reversed from most boots. Most boots you last from the top of the toe down and tucked, then you put the bottom on. These start at the bottom, wrap them up, and then put that top piece on this piece. So that's why they feel so different. And we'll go over that, like more of the fine details of why and how it feels so different in the cut in half. I don't know, I probably shouldn't try these on, should I? I guess I'm gonna cut one of them in half. Should I try one on? Let's try one on. Why not? They didn't tell me not to. So that's not a no. Dude, I feel like these are my size too. I'm gonna be careful with them. I'm not gonna try to. Oh. These are my exact size. What? Dang, I want these for myself. I don't want to cut them. I don't want to lace them up too much either. Just kind of want to get them on foot and see how they feel. That's the wrong boot. I'm not trying to break them before we get them cut in half because you can see how fragile this leather is. You know, someone had a nice job polishing them and stuff, but you can tell that leather's really dry and thirsty, and all it takes is one pull too hard and you've ripped an eyelid out of it, and then I'm gonna be in trouble. Oh my gosh. I want these boots. I do not want to cut them. Well, I guess you'll see us wearing them in a little bit of B-roll. So I'll lace them up and put them in the B-roll, me walking around them just a little bit. I'm not gonna walk them like crazy, just because I don't want to hurt them or get them destroyed, because there's clearly not a lot of wear on these. These looks like they were barely worn. So cool. So we're gonna be cutting them in half pretty soon. I think like next week's when the video comes out, because I'm recording this way in advance, but usually try to stack the cut in halves and the unboxings pretty soon, or like similar timelines. So we'll tell a lot more of the full story and more of the history of Russell and a lot more in-depth information. This is just a quick video to geek out about it and show you some of the cool stuff and some of the little details we don't get to cover in every video. Oh, I do want to see how thick the leather is. Okay, 2.5 millimeters. So thanks for watching. If you want a pair of Russell Mocks, check them out below. Really cool of them to donate these boots just to be destroyed and let me kind of geek out over them. And because I've got the pair of their backcountries, we've got a cut in half of that coming out probably in next month or so, because I want to compare the old ones to the new ones, see what's different, see what's the same. And yeah, that's it. So thank you guys for everything you do and supporting this channel. It's super fun to be able to just sit down real quick and make a quick video and geek out about stuff, because I want to do this. I'm going to do this anyway. You know, I'm going to unbox these cool boots and be like, oh, this is cool, look at this, look at this. You know, so I'm like, might as well record it. So your guys' supporting of these videos is the only reason I'm able to pay the editors to edit the videos so that you guys can enjoy the little bit of the unboxing with me. And so let me know what you want to see in these, what more value I can bring, how I can make these more interesting or valuable for you guys, because I also want them to be of value. So thank you guys for everything, and I'm excited to tear this apart. I'm really curious about them. So thank you guys. See ya.